I mean, Paul Pelosi's trades are awfully on the mark. That woman got rich off of all of us, and she actually wants us to believe that it was just his good luck. That's bull. So yeah, I'm totally against it. Term limits, yes, I guess so. I haven't really thought it out, to be honest with you. You guys like it. I see why. I guess here's my true view. I have zero hope in U.S. Congress people. I do not think they're the answer. I don't think it's going to matter whether we switch them out and switch new people in. I think the organization is corrupt and basically lost to us, and tomorrow's solutions rely on you, the private sector, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and people like that. I just don't think the idea is not to give Congress any more power than it already has or find new people. That's not the solution. The institution has been lost. And it's been lost for a whole bunch of reasons. Citizens United, which I believe was correctly decided, but it has really corrupted Congress in a way where they only have to answer to the richest donors who oversee their district. So there's no more cross-the-aisle negotiating. They don't do bipartisanship anymore. And so they talk past each other. They don't make compromises. It's a lost institution as far as I'm concerned. We technically need them, but there's no fixing it.
And I wanted to bring up one follow-up quick question. Conservatives and liberals both combined, polls show that about 80% support term limits or support banning individual stock ownership. And representatives are supposed to represent the people, yet obviously they haven't tried to really push towards this. So how do we as individuals, even on both sides of parties, try to make this issue more known or try to be pushed more in representation?
Well, you know how Governor Youngkin was saying, out of all of you, 1 or 10 or 100 of you may one day decide you might want to run for Virginia governor, and it's a great job and you should do it? Well, someday 1 or 10 or 100 of you may decide you want to become a journalist, and you should definitely not do it. Run. Do not walk in the opposite direction. But you could start a podcast, which isn't exactly the same thing, and use your voice and build your following and say all these things, and I think that's the future for my particular business. And I would submit to you that I have more influence over most issues of the day than any U.S. congressperson. So do use your voice, but find ways around this corrupt, broken system to do it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Good evening. I feel like we are living through a time of unprecedented political divide, and way closer, okay. And it's something that I feel like affects like everyone. It's what ultimately got Charlie, in my opinion, and it's what almost got Trump. So how do you feel we should go about as individuals trying to reconcile that political divide?
Yep.
Because ultimately it's down to all of us.
Well, I think we talked about it right off the top, right? First of all, say what you believe. We've ceded the fight on the right. We have ceded it. I mean, all the way through. It's like, and then, to continue the point I was making earlier, then you get out into your job, and now you're still not saying your politics because now you don't want to offend your boss or your coworkers, etc. And then dying in your bed, 50, 70 years from now, you can be really proud of yourself that you never offended anyone. Great job. I was just looking at this article that was online today, and it was about a hospice nurse who talks about what matters to them in the final days of their lives. And of course, we've all heard it's family and kids and having spent time with loved ones. But the other thing she was saying most people want to talk about is whether they mattered. And they want to go over the things that they accomplished in their lives that made them feel like they mattered. I mean, wouldn't it be nice to know at a young age that you are making a difference? Right? That your voice and your values meant more to you than being well-liked everywhere? Where has that ever gotten anyone? The goal is not to be well-liked. The goal, Matthew McConaughey was on the show today, and he said, I want to be known as a good man, not a nice guy. He said, it's fine to sometimes be a nice guy, but what's important sometimes when there's conflict is that you're a good man, not that you're a nice man. And I think that's really what you're getting to. Like, there are times to stand up and say, I'm a good man, and a good man fights for his values and says what's real. And if we have to have a disagreement politically, I mean, when we're in the political arena, not at the dinner table, not necessarily at Thanksgiving, but in the political arena where we're in a class or we're in a conversation about politics, say what you believe. And don't be apologetic about it. You remember that you're the side that has the 80+ million votes. You're the side that's elected a Republican president twice. The Democrats are losing. Their party support is in the toilet. Even Democrats don't like Democrats anymore. Republicans are enthused. They're energized. It's never been cool to be a Republican. Trust me. This is people are like, Republicans are cool again. I'm like, oh, you had it almost right. So close. Again, does not belong on there. But we are. So don't be ashamed. Talk about it openly. And that's really the only way we're ever going to affect change. And by the way, I will say, even though I'm sort of a cynical mofo about Congress, there are signs of hope, like Congressman Brandon Gill, right? He's from here, Virginia, and he's brilliant. There are some people who go in there and they do it boldly and they do it well. So let guys like that be your inspo.
All right, thank you. That was a great answer.
Oh, thank you. Hi.
Hi, Megan. I just have a quick question. So I work on labor and delivery at a hospital in Salem. I'm just going to read something.
Yeah, go for it.
So one of my coworkers posted on her Facebook that she would not pray for evil to rest peacefully, referring to Charlie. And then she shared a post that said Trump blamed the radical left on the assassination when there wasn't even a suspect identified yet. You want to know why our country is so divided? He divides us. He said, same friend, she said, same friend, I'll be playing No One Mourns the Wicked all day, every day in celebration. She was suspended for only a week. I just want to know how you think I should go about this, because if it was me or a conservative Christian who posted this, we would have been fired on the spot. We've also been told that we shouldn't post things on social media because we don't want to be unwelcoming and create like a hostile environment. So I just want to know how I should go about this when they have double.
What's her job?
She's a lactation consultant, so she's not technically a nurse, but she goes in and helps new.
Yeah, I know what a lactation consultant is.
Yeah.
That's all. That's in all your futures, ladies. Look forward to that. The one thing I will say about breastfeeding, it is best for the baby, but they're selling it all wrong. If you breastfeed your baby, by the time that baby's 8 months, if you're still breastfeeding, which you should be, at least through the first year, that weight comes off like there's no tomorrow. It's better than the Ozempic. So, in any event, I'm surprised that the hospital did anything to her for saying the hateful things about Charlie. And by the way, she's wrong, because the reason we knew this was a leftist who took Charlie's life right from the get-go is because we saw the bullet casings right away. Before we even knew who the guy was, we saw the bullet casings, which were very clearly leftist messaging. And then it's been reinforced at every single term, no matter what Jimmy Kimmel wants to tell you, right? So I would say, look, as a conservative, I don't think it's really our jam to run around getting people canceled, even for hateful thoughts. I think it's good the university or the hospital suspended her for a week. She probably got the message. But in this life, you're going to deal with bad people. You know, you are. If it's the majority at your place and they're actually your employers, you have to rethink where you're working. If it's just some coworker who's like dealing with breast milk, you got better things to worry about. Say what you believe and say it loud. Make sure more people agree with you than trying to police her.
Okay.
She doesn't have to be your problem.
Just a second part really quick. How would you suggest that I, as a conservative and Christian, if I talk to another person about my beliefs, like we'll talk about it at the nurse's station, it's no big deal, but when other people come up to us, like higher ups, and tell us to be quiet, but then they allow the liberals to talk about this around other people, how should I go about that?
Well, I mean, look, at the office, you should be working. You know, you should be talking about politics at the office. Like at my office place, we talk about politics. But like at yours, you got babies to deliver. Like, let's focus on that. If I were your boss, I'd say save it for the after dinner drink, too. But if they have a different standard for the left and the right, one of two things. Now we may be back to you're not at the right place for you. Or it may be an issue that you have to go directly to your boss and address. And let me tell you something. This is not just, you know, old hag Megyn Kelly telling you that. Young co-ed Megyn Kelly had a moment just like that. When I was a brand new lawyer, I had a partner at my law firm who kept making only me copy cases. If he had an assignment for the young men, the male lawyers, he had the paralegal copy the case, and then the two would discuss it, or his secretary. But I was the only female attorney in the office, and when it was me, he wanted me to copy the case, which is secretarial work. And I was 24 and he was 64, and I was very scared, but I resolved the next time he asked me to copy a case, I was going to confront him on it. And I did. I had my pre-ready line. I had it in my head. I said, Bob, if the next time you want me to copy a case, I'm going to tell you that you need to ask Peggy or this other gal to do it. If you want me to copy a case because you want to sit down and discuss it with me as lawyers, that's a separate matter. But you have a secretary to do secretarial work. Well, he got red in the face. He almost blew a gasket. But you know what? He never asked me to copy a case again. And the owners of the firm backed me. They backed me. Yes. They actually said to him, if you ever make an associate of this firm copy a case for you again, it'll be the last thing you do at this firm. So, God may be calling you to a moment where you may need to say to your employer, I don't object to you telling me that I can't discuss politics at work, but I do object to the double standard, and I would like an explanation.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello. I came here from North Carolina to see Turning Point USA, and we were gonna go to see Charlie Kirk, but and so I just wanted to say thank you for continuing it, and yeah.
Thank you for showing up.
The question is,
thank you guys.
my question is, there are two definitions for the word virgin. The first one is
Now it's getting
someone.
good. Did you hear what she said? Two definitions for the word virgin. Pay attention.
That in Greek terms, the first definition is what we all know what a virgin is, and the second is a young woman of bearing age. So, if what was Mary? Was she the first or the second?
Wow, that's above my pay grade. I mean, a virgin in my understanding is somebody who has never had sex. Yeah, that's my understanding. That's my understanding of the Virgin Mary. Never had sex. I don't think the meaning changes. I'm not sure about the dual meaning. There's no Venn diagram that comes to mind that would explain that. I apologize for not being more illuminating to you. I'm stuck in 21st century America, but I think there's only one real understanding of it, and that's it. Thank you.
Would you rather be a human with pineapple thoughts or a pineapple with human thoughts?
Would I rather be a human with pineapple thoughts or a pineapple with human thoughts? Wow. I guess I'd rather be a pineapple with human thoughts, right? Because then you have sentience. Then you actually have a way of thinking. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Well done on your originality. I got to ask the TP USA people whether that one's ever been asked. Originality. Hi there.
Hi, I had either a silly question or a serious question. Which would you prefer?
Silly or serious?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do a silly one.
All right, so Charlie Kirk was very well known for his stance that the original Star Wars trilogy was the only one that should ever be watched. But I don't think you've actually come out on this issue. No. So, in your own words, which is the best Star Wars movie and why is it Revenge of the Sith?
Okay. Very interesting. I mean, I hate to really let you down, but I never even saw the second trilogy. I mean, I know. I didn't do it. I know. So I'm going to have to go with the first because that was, I was there. I saw that the original time it was in the theater.
Well,
but I will take you on a related but different question, which is the best Willy Wonka and why is it the one with Gene Wilder?
Oh, Gene Wilder.
Hello?
The psychopath.
The one with Johnny Depp is creepy. Why did they even try that? Tim Burton shouldn't have touched Willy Wonka. That's obvious. And by the way, while we're on movie trivia, Rose should have just gotten on the boat, and then Leonardo DiCaprio could have had that piece of wood when they were floating in the water. She had a spot. Poor Jack froze to death in the Atlantic because she couldn't give up those extra 20 minutes with him. He would be alive, maybe not today, for a nice long time had she not been so selfish.
If only. Well, thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Hi, thank you so much for being here. This question was originally meant to be directed towards Charlie, so I guess I have to ask, do you pay attention to basketball?
Not at all. Well, Erica's going to be disappointed in me, too. She could answer this. Sports are not my thing.
I was going to ask, well, Charlie said the GOAT debate should have been between MJ versus Kobe, so I was going to ask why he thinks Kobe's better than LeBron.
Wait, better than LeBron or MJ?
He was basically, he thinks the GOAT debate's between MJ and Kobe and not MJ and LeBron.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask
I agree
why he
with that.
thinks Kobe is better than LeBron.
Well, I don't know about that, but I can tell, for sure, Michael Jordan's the GOAT, right? Are we all in agreement? That I know a little bit about because I did live through that, and I was in Chicago when the Chicago Bulls were, that Magic team was there. I ran into Dennis Rodman at a bar right after he married himself. That happened. And there was it was truly like watching magic on the court. Those guys floated up and down. They didn't run. They weren't normal basketball players. That's as much as I can say. LeBron, I don't know anything about basketball other than he's annoying. And I'm sick of him giving me his opinion, which is completely boneheaded. He literally said that cops were hunting black men in the streets, which is A, untrue, and B, incredibly divisive and incendiary. Those are incendiary comments. So shame on him. I'm not his fan.
Okay, that's all I wanted to hear. Thank you.
I tried.
Yeah.
Who wins in a fight, a hokey bird or a cavalier?
What? Hokey bird? Hokey bird.
That's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, they can hear you.
I want to know why you support a president who contributes to the rhetoric that got your friend Charlie killed. We saw his rally recently. He said, "I hate my enemies." Stephen Miller said similar things. How can you support him when he contributed to what got Charlie killed?
Assumes facts, not evidence. What you said is not true.
70% of political violence is committed by Republicans.
Okay.
Look it up.
That's not true
DOJ
either.
just pulled it. The DOJ just pulled it from their website. DOJ just pulled the study from their website because they're delusional.
That's not true because
They just pulled it. Look it up.
Once you
the
pull
DOJ
the
pulled it from their website.
Once you
What?
pull the crazies out of there, it is overwhelmingly left-wing violence.
Google it.
We have had
Every single
No, I
person in the
understand.
audience, Google it right now.
You know, this is how we get here. So first of all, let me take on the first part of the premise of your question, that it was President Trump's rhetoric that led to an assassin killing our friend Charlie Kirk. That's a blatant lie. It's a defamatory blaspheme, and it's inappropriate in this setting.
That's not what I said.
We know. Yes, it is.
No, I said he contributed to the political atmosphere.
Well, then you have no point.
tension.
Then your point is utterly empty.
What
Contributing to the atmosphere.
president-
This guy was, no, let's just make clear. Let's just make clear. This guy was motivated by leftist ideology. We know it from the bullet casings. We know it from the Utah governor. We know it from his own mother.
so-
Yes, we do. Let's be really clear on that.
Even if that's true, so then you're saying because, let's say this guy's a leftist, even if that's true, does that make it okay for the sitting president of the United States to incite violence against liberals?
The President of the United States has not accepted violence against liberals. The President of the United States made a joke at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, which was funny and self-deprecating. It was on the heels of Erica Kirk saying she, in an extraordinary moment, forgave her husband's killer.
He
And let me finish. And then President Trump got up and making a joke playing off of what Erica said. He said, "We disagree. I need to do better. Erica's going to try to convince me, but I'm in a different place." And that's completely normal for a politician to be thinking about his political fights. And by the way, Trump has every right to loathe his enemies. They tried to put him in jail for the rest of his life.
Rightfully
They tried to
so.
bankrupt him.
Rightfully so.
They tried to put
He's
his
a
family
criminal.
in jail.
He's a
And they tried to kill him.
Criminal. Jack
wait.
Smith.
Wait. Okay, now you go.
Thank you for your time.
No, it's fine. It's good. It's good to have some folks come up and disagree. Hi.
Try to follow that. I wanted to say thank you so much. I love that you embody your rhetoric. I mean, you talk to us about being brave and standing up and saying what you believe, and you've done that in the hardest of times, and it's cost you. And it's easy to say it, but when it costs you something, it means you really mean it. So I honor you for that. And someone stole my political question, so I was going to ask you a personal one, which is, what do you want to be remembered by or as? What would you want people to say about you?
I mean, I think the number one thing I'd want them to say is that I was a great wife and great mother.
Awesome. Me
And
too.
I hope broadcaster comes third. You know, and it is something you have to nurture. You know, I'm a big believer in being a gunner and being a hard worker and out hustling your competitors in the office and elsewhere. But at the end of the day, you really do have to prioritize your family. And if that requires a downshift from time to time in your career, do it. Do it. Because the family and the rewards you get from having kids and having a strong marriage dwarf everything in the professional lane. Even if the professional lane winds up good and great like it has for me, there's really no contest. So don't forget to nurture that piece of yourself, especially, and Charlie would want me to say this, and he was right, especially young women, because there is a clock, it does go tick-tock, and you don't have forever to find somebody to settle down with. It's not that, you know, you have to do it right away, but that whole virgin thing, that shouldn't stay on too long, because like at some point you're going to have to get down to business and start recreating fellow great humans. Hi, go ahead. Get some. Poor guy, he's got to follow that. Go ahead.
So there's a lot of videos and claims out there, like conspiracy theories, like Nick Fuentes talks about them a lot, about Israel. And some of them seem kind of true, but it's hard to find true information anywhere. Where would you find good, true,
Great
untainted
question.
information?
That is a great question. I'm sure you guys all have this experience, right? Like, what's real? You hear people who you respect, like, saying stuff that sounds like crazy. And you're like, did we land on the moon? Huh? Right? They can make you rethink anything. And it is an ongoing battle. It's going to be a really hard battle for all of you because you're young and you're going to have years of dealing with this. My advice to you is to find one or two people who you know you can trust. And you'll know those people because they will tell you the bad news for your side. They will not just keep whispering sweet nothings in your ear every day when you turn on their podcast or the news or what have you. And once you find those two people, stick with them. Don't trust a platform that has an agenda that's got corporate backers. You know, when I was at Fox, I did not realize that we were funded by Pfizer. But we were. There was a reason we weren't allowed to say certain things on the air. You tried to talk about what was causing autism and whether it was a vaccine back in 2005 at Fox News. It was not going to happen. So I would recommend choosing someone from the independent lane. Of course, I'm biased, but I submit to you I'm an option for you. Ben Shapiro is another great option for you. There's a bunch of us in this lane who you can trust. And then stick with those people who don't get too out there, unless that's just your jam for fun. But I will say, once you sort of let those earworms get in there, it can kind of corrupt your thinking. So choose people who are super factual.
Thank you. Jesus is Lord.
Amen.
Hi, my name is Dylan. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, Dylan.
I wanted to start by offering my condolences. I don't think anybody's father or husband should be killed like that.
Sorry, I couldn't. Can you speak louder? Or closer to the mic, yeah.
I wanted to offer my condolences. I don't think anybody's father or husband should be killed like that, or killed at all, which is what informs the rest of my question. It's kind of a lot of words. I hope that's all right.
Yeah.
It has been credibly reported that 83% of the people Israel has killed in Palestine are citizens, not terrorists. 2 migrants were shot by a sniper and killed recently in an ICE facility. 32 people were killed by a gunman at Virginia Tech, the most of any school shooting in American history. All you guys offer are thoughts and prayers. Charlie Kirk had more than that to offer, actually, which was the idea that some gun deaths are necessary in order to maintain our Second Amendment right. So my question is, which of those deaths were the necessary ones? The tens of thousands of Palestinian babies, the 32 students and professors at Virginia Tech, or the late Charlie Kirk? And do you still believe that thoughts and prayers can stop bullets?
Well, you're asking me to defend words I didn't say, which I'm not prepared to do. But I'm perfectly happy to discuss violence in America with you. And I would say to you that, first of all, I'm not sure where you got your stats on Israel, but most of those come out of the Palestinian ministry, which you cannot trust. They lie, and they're propaganda experts.
I'm getting those numbers from The Guardian.
Sorry?
I'm getting those numbers from The Guardian.
Yeah, same difference. The Guardian. So yeah, I sympathize with you because it is very hard to get actual data on what the numbers are out of Israel and Palestine. I mean, I think you're struggling with the same thing I struggle with, because I am not a shill for Israel at all. I've been very defensive of American Jews on campuses. What's been happening to them is disgusting, and I will defend them to the death. But what Israel does in this war, I don't have to defend Israel. They are an important ally of ours, and I would love for them to end this war so that we can stay supportive of Israel, but it's gone on too long, as I said. The civilian deaths is problematic, but in any war, there are massive civilian deaths. And if we went back and we looked at those civilian deaths in World War II, we'd be horrified at the numbers. So, I mean, those are just hard truisms. Now, on the gun violence here in America, it's not just thoughts and prayers. That's not true. Conservatives, look, and I'm a great person to talk to you about this because I am not a big Second Amendment person. Like, I believe in the Second Amendment, but I'm not somebody like my friend Dana Lash, who could, you know.
Gaera ni enyoto ke, owe gũcoka moko-inĩ kĩrirũke gĩciarane kĩhũrithanio maita kĩrirũke gĩciarane kĩhũrithanio maita.
Kaya kita lihat mudo